Have you ever felt that pull to connect with your faith, but you just had no idea where to even begin? Or maybe, you used to feel really close, but now that connection just feels distant. Well, if that's you, you're in the right place. We're going to walk through a really clear 5-step roadmap for that exact journey, drawing on some truly timeless wisdom. So let's just dive right in with the question that sparked this whole explainer. And it's such a powerful one, right? Because it gets to the heart of what so many people are feeling. Whether you're starting from absolute zero or just trying to find your way back, that feeling of, where do I even start? That's completely normal. But the good news is, there is a path. And here's what that path looks like. We're breaking this down into 5 really manageable stages. We'll start with the question itself, then we'll talk about building a strong foundation, taking action, nourishing your faith, and finally, carving out that all-important personal time. Okay, so first things first, just the very act of asking this question, of feeling that little pull to connect or reconnect, that right there, that's the most critical first step you can take. It's you acknowledging that you're ready for a change. And you've really got to know this. This guidance is for everyone. It's for the person who grew up in a really devout family, but now feels kind of lost. And it's for the person who's never even set foot in a mosque. That desire, that little spark that makes you want to turn towards God, that is the only prerequisite to get started. All right, now we get to the foundation of this whole journey. And the first step, it might not be what you think. It's not about memorizing texts or perfecting rituals. No, it's about something way more fundamental, your environment and the company you keep. And what's so powerful here is just how direct this wisdom is. This saying tells us that our faith, even our whole outlook on life, is profoundly shaped by the people we hang out with. We absorb their values. So the first practical step isn't internal, it's actually external. You've got to seek out people who will lift you up spiritually. To really see just how critical this is, there's this incredible story from prophetic teachings that just drives this point home like nothing else. It's a story about hope, forgiveness, and the absolutely life-altering power of just changing your location. So the story begins with a man who carries an almost unimaginable weight of sin. I mean, he has taken 99 lives, and he feels the crushing burden of his actions. He desperately wants to change, to find some path to forgiveness. So he goes looking for the most religious person he can find, a monk. But when he confesses what he's done, the monk is just horrified. He basically slams the door in his face, telling him there is absolutely no hope for someone like him. Can you imagine? Plunged into this complete despair and rage by this judgment, the man kills the monk too, and that brings his total to 100. He is now even more lost than he was before. But he doesn't give up. He asks again for the most knowledgeable person on earth and gets directed to a true scholar. And this scholar's response is completely different. He says, "Yes, of course, who could possibly stand between you and repentance?" But, and this is the key, he gives him one crucial condition. You must leave your land, because it's a land of evil. Go to this other land where people are devoted to God. Join them. So, feeling hopeful for the first time in forever, the man immediately sets out on this long journey. He is determined to make it. But his past catches up with him, and halfway to his destination, death overtakes him. And this is where the story gets really amazing. Angels of mercy and punishment both arrive to claim his soul, and they start arguing. So, to settle it, they're told to measure the distance. Was he closer to the land of evil he'd left, or the land of good he was traveling to? And they find that he was just a single handspan closer to his destination, and for that one step, for that intention he put into action, he was forgiven. The lesson here is so clear. Your environment, your company, it matters more than you can possibly imagine. The journey is made possible by physically putting yourself among people who are on that same path, just like the Quran itself commands. Be with those who are true. So that brings us to a really common mental block. So many of us think, okay, I need to fix myself completely, then I can get involved, then I can do good. But the wisdom here says that is exactly backwards. Just look at this comparison. The common trap is perfectionism. It's that little voice in your head saying, I'm not good enough yet. But the real path, the one that works, is to get involved now, to help you fix your flaws. Taking action isn't the reward for getting better, it's the tool you use to get better.
So why does this work? Well, because our actions actually shape our inner world. When you start helping others connect with God, or you volunteer for a good cause, that outward effort starts to repair what's on the inside. It shifts your focus off your own shortcomings and onto a higher purpose. And get this, there's a divine promise attached to this idea. This verse from the Quran is basically a contract. It's saying if you make an effort for God's cause, He will in turn support you. He'll give you stability, that feeling of being firmly planted on the path. It's a pretty powerful reason not to wait on the sidelines, right? Just jump in.
Okay, so you found good company and you've started taking action. Great! Now, how do you keep this going? How do you sustain that growth? This brings us to the daily and weekly nourishment your faith needs to really thrive. The focus here shifts to 3 key habits. First, find a study circle or a lecture series, you can find tons online, to keep learning. Second, make a constant habit of seeking forgiveness. And third, which we'll get into next, is all about dedicating that personal time.
Now, let's focus on that second point, istighfar. This is way more than just saying you're sorry. And honestly, this is a pretty profound psychological insight. You don't wait until you've conquered a flaw to seek forgiveness for it. In fact, the guidance is that continuously asking for forgiveness while you are still struggling is the very tool that helps you overcome it. The act itself literally weakens the sin's grip on you over time.
And that brings us to our final, and maybe the most intimate part of this whole journey, actually establishing your own private, dedicated time with God. This is where the connection really deepens.
Now, this personal time can look like a lot of different things. It could be sincere supplication, just talking to God from your heart. It could be remembrance, repeating specific phrases. It could be reading the Quran, even if it's just a little bit each day. Or it could be learning more about its meaning or the life of the Prophet. The key isn't what you do, it's that you make it a consistent, protected part of your schedule.
So in the end, this huge project of reconnecting with your faith, it's not one giant leap. It's a series of small, intentional steps. Just like that man in the story, who is saved by being just a single step closer. So the question isn't, can you do it all at once? No way! The real question is, which one of these small steps will you take today?